Mans 1959 was dominated by Aston Martin, with the DBR1 taking first and second overall. And although Aston Martin would rack up 19 class wins at Le Mans throughout their 95-year history, their win in 1959 would be the only time they would score an all-out victory. Fast forward 66 years and Aston Martin is ready to give it another shot. Based on the incredible Valkyrie, the Valkyrie LMH will be competing in the top-tier LMH endurance racing class in IMSA GTP and FIA WEC. The LMH class allows for more design flexibility than the LMDH cars that they compete against. And cars like the Valkyrie LMH are the very reason that this racing class was created. Writer Lawrence Butcher describes it quite elegantly as the first true embodiment of the original LMH rules ethos, a genuine road-going hypercar gone racing. The Valkyrie LMH prototype will be the most unique car competing in IMSA and WEC, as it is the only hypercar based on a road car, the only hypercar powered by a V12, and the only hypercar not utilizing a hybrid powertrain. The last time Aston Martin competed in top-tier endurance racing was 14 years ago with the AMR1 prototype, and despite the car's exciting design, it was plagued with mechanical problems and failed miserably. Aston Martin ran 2 cars at Le Mans, with the number 9 car retiring after only 2 laps, and the number 7 car only completing 4 laps before spending 4 hours in the pits and then officially retiring after being deemed unrepairable. Normally when a road car is turned into a race car, things like aerodynamics and driving dynamics need to be cranked up, but with the Valkyrie, nearly every performance aspect of the car needed to be toned down to be compliant with current racing regulations. Cars in LMH must fit within an aerodynamic performance window, which limits the downforce to drag ratio to about 4:1, while also mandating power and torque curve limits. So to turn the road Valkyrie into a racing Valkyrie, all of the car's active aerodynamics and much of its ground effects had to be deleted. Much of the top-end aerodynamics were deleted as well, along with the active suspension. All of these changes leave the Valkyrie LMH a bit neutered when compared to the road car, but it did receive a completely new aerodynamics package that keeps it more than competitive. This video about the Valkyrie LMH is brought to you by Custom Art Prints by ArcDriver Automotive Photography. You love your car, so why not have a one-of-a-kind art print of it displayed in your home or office? I can put you in your car on any track or any street in the world. Just select which option you want on my website, send me a picture of your car, tell me how you want it to look, and I'll turn it into your custom art print. Click on the link at the top of the video description below to learn more. Aston Martin will be fielding 3 Valkyrie LMHs in partnership with Heart of Racing and Multimatic. The green cars will be competing in WEC and the blue one will be competing in IMSA. The WEC cars will be driven by Marco Sorensen, Alex Ribera, Tom Gamble, and Harry Tinknell. And the IMSA car will be driven by Ross Gunn and Roman D. Angelis. If you're finding this video to be informative or entertaining, please give it a like. And if you're new to my channel, I publish original automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else. So if you're not subscribed yet, click below to subscribe. And be sure to click on the notifications bell so you can be notified about my latest videos. All three cars will take part in Le Mans, and the car's first official competitive outing will be on February 28th at Qatar. So what are Aston Martin's chances of having a successful season with the Valkyrie LMH? While Aston Martin has seen huge success in GT class endurance racing over the last couple decades, they'll be facing some strong headwinds in IMSA and WEC. For starters, Aston Martin hasn't had an overall victory in top-tier racing since 1959, and the last time they competed at that level was 14 years ago. And with that big of a gap, there's little remaining experience to build on. And to make things worse, they'll be competing in a brand new car that's only had minimum testing opportunities. It's rare that a team in this situation can be victorious, but Ferrari proved that it is possible for a brand new prototype to be dominant with their 499P, which scored an overall victory at Le Mans in its debut season in 2023 and won Le Mans again in 2024. Aston Martin is also one of the least profitable companies competing in the hypercar class this year, so they've got less of a racing budget to work with, especially when compared to Ferrari, Porsche, and Toyota, and racing on a minimized budget is one of the biggest disadvantages a team can have. Aston Martin does have a few advantages though. In GT class endurance racing, they've been one of the most dominant teams of the last 2 decades, with class wins at Le Mans in 2007, 2008, 2014, 2017, and 2020. Another advantage Aston Martin has is that the Valkyrie LMH only utilizes an internal combustion engine, and with no hybrid system, there's less complexity and less that can fail, which potentially means less time in the pits and more time on the track. Now let's take a look at the Valkyrie's competition. Ferrari will no doubt be Aston Martin's biggest threat as they try for their 3rd straight Le Mans win with the 499P. The Porsche 963 has failed to secure a single win at Le Mans, but it was the points leader in WEC last year. The Gazoo Racing GR010 is the most seasoned car that will be competing, but it typically finishes behind Ferrari and Porsche. Those 3 cars will be giving the Aston Martin its toughest competition, but they will also be competing against cars from Alpine, BMW, Lamborghini, and Cadillac, all of which have at least 1 season of experience more than the Valkyrie. So the question is, can Aston Martin win? Aston Martin is clearly the underdog of the 2025 hypercar season. In order to score a few victories, they'll need to get the Valkyrie dialed in incredibly well and incredibly quick. The road car it's based on has proven to be problematic, and in all reality, the race car should be just as, if not more, problematic. But if Aston's engineers can whip up some magic and get their car finely tuned in time, they'll have a chance. It's hard to be confident given all of the challenges Aston Martin is facing, but I'm cautiously optimistic that they might win a race or two, and it would be fantastic to see them pull off a couple victories, because they've produced some of the most exciting street legal cars in the last decade, and they are one of the only companies who still produce cars with a primary focus on driving experience. They are also planning to produce more cars with manual transmissions, and with machines like the Valkyrie, the Velour, the Valhalla, the Vulcan, and the V12 Speedster, they are, in my opinion, one of the most, if not the most exciting car manufacturers today. And for that reason alone, I hope they are victorious, because a few hypercar wins means a bigger budget for more incredible road cars. So I'll definitely be rooting for them. The Valkyrie LMH will be competing at a number of races around the world, including Qatar, Le Mans, the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and the 12 Hours of Sebring. And I wish Aston Martin the best of luck in the 2025 hypercar season. Thanks for watching, and for more automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else, click here to subscribe.